Ho, ho, holy crap, do we have some people who've been bad this year. Let's see, we've got murder, espionage. Oh, and look at this. Plotting to cause chaos throughout an entire kingdom, and causing world panic. I hope you guys have been a little bit better than some of the people on this list, as today we're going to be going over the top villains in the RWBY series. Everyone had a chance to vote for their top 2 best, or I guess in the terms of the world of Remnant, worst villains. Essentially, the villains who have left the most impact on all of you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and let's get into the naughty list of the RWBY series. With a total of 1,372 votes, I'd like to say we'd have, a concrete answer as to who is the top villain in the RWBY series, but there was some contesting in the top spots. The top 3, actually, were pulling ahead quite a bit from everyone else, but were competing with each other throughout the entire poll. So it's nice to see that there is some debate as to who is the top villain. But now let's get right into the actual numbers. And I think I'll start off with both number 10 and number 9, as they're very closely related in the series and also got very close numbers in the voting. At number 10, with 47 votes, we have Emerald Sustrai. And at number 9, with 53 votes, we have Mercury Black. Now, these two currently are working for Salem, but haven't really had much of a role to play in the overall series. Even at the fall of Haven Academy, they were present, but they didn't really have that much of an impact. They were just there to hold up the gang while, Cinder and Raven were going to get the relic. Now, currently, they're on Salem's side. Hopefully, at least Emerald will break away. I'm happy to see them kind of lower on the list. A lot of people, they do like these characters, myself included, but as villains, they haven't really had that much of an impact yet. They did participate in the fall of Beacon Academy and in the fall of Haven Academy, so, the record's definitely not clean. They're definitely getting a lump of coal, but, glad to see they're lower on the list. And with Mercury, at least, he's number 9 here. He was also number 9 in the Best Boy poll. I'm wondering, once he actually gets his time to shine in the RWBY series, if he'll be able to move up the list. I would say yes, but that will remain to be seen. Coming in at number 8, with, oddly enough, 88 votes. He may be dead in the RWBY series, but hopefully his relevance isn't quite yet, as we still have some things that need to be explained now that we are in Atlas. We have Adam Tauros. A very commanding villain when on screen. His design is very unique, as well as his fighting style, the skill he displays, and also, him as a villain, the way he usurped control from Sienna Khan of the White Fang. Now, he has always been a villain, pretty much, always hated humanity, and we've seen throughout the series as he's progressed from someone who essentially was an activist in the White Fang to getting a little bit power-hungry and wanting to kill pretty much all of humanity. He participated in the fall of Beacon Academy and the attack on Haven Academy and has been a significant villain in Blake's history. He may no longer be in the series, as far as we know. There's still possibility that he may come back, but hopefully we'll get some explanation as to his connection to the SDC and how exactly he got that brand. We can all guess, but we still would like some confirmation. Now, coming in at lucky number 7, we have actually Cinder Fall with exactly 100 votes. Now, Cinder was the main villain of the RWBY series for the first 3 volumes, so it's no surprise that she is on this list. She was the one who orchestrated the fall of Beacon Academy. One of the things that have set everything in motion, not to mention she's the one who straight up murdered Pyrrha, so yeah. It's kind of surprising she's actually not higher up the list, but when we get into the higher ups on the list, it does make sense. Currently, we don't know where Cinder is in Volume 7. Volume 6, she was getting her way to make her way to Atlas, but has not shown up yet, and once she does show up, maybe her position will change as well. Speaking of Atlas, though, coming in at number 6, with only 103 votes, only beating Cinder by 3 votes, is the one and only Jacques Schnee, the, king of the Schnee Dust Company, the one who probably gave Adam his brand, or at least ordered it. So, yeah, with us being an Atlas and the actions that he's taking currently, I feel like his position might move up the list so that he gets, smacked in the head with a giant piece of coal. The guy has mistreated Weiss all of her life, as well as probably all of his children, and hopefully he gets what's coming to him, especially if he can get backhanded at least once in the series. Very Merry Christmas to you. But we'll see what actually happens with that. Now we have number 5 with 114 votes. Honestly, I thought this one would have made the top 3 given what's been happening in Atlas currently. But at number 5 we have Arthur Watts, one of the ones I personally voted for, as the amount of mastery of technology that this man has displayed, the ability to completely blend into Mantle, not get discovered, fake his own death. There's a lot we need to know more about Watts, but his potential to do evil is pretty insane, and it's obvious that he has no compassion for human life whatsoever, equivalent to Tyrion. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Watts, and I hope we see him more than just Atlas, because he can be useful with anything with technology. As long as he can get access to technology, he can hack it, figure out the code, etc. His uses and his knowledge are very vast, and I want to see where he's going to go from here. But number 4 now. This one, it makes sense as to where she is, because she hasn't really done anything herself in the entire series so far, at least personally. Coming in with 124 votes, we have the Black Queen herself, Salem. Now, Salem, obviously the biggest evil that is, putting the entirety of Remnant in fear with all of her Grimm, etc., even though the people aren't actually aware of her existence. Currently, they might be, after the end of Volume 7. We don't exactly know yet. Not sure if that's a good idea or not. That might give her more of an advantage, but Salem is going to be the final evil of this series, and by the end of the series, I wouldn't be surprised if she's number 1 on this list, especially once we get a display of what kind of power she actually wields. We've gotten little hints here and there, and we know she's part of the old humanity, so she does have magic, she has her Grim Corruption. What exactly she's capable of, I would really like to know, and especially if she's leading that attack on Atlas, well, she might move up the list. Now, Salem at number 4 had 124 votes. Next, number 3 jumps all the way to 197, with number 3 and number 1 being separated by only 15 votes. So it was very close for the top 3, but a very definitive top 3. But before we get into that, I'm going to give the honorable mentions their time to shine. At number 11, we have Talk. I'm glad Talk almost made it into the list, as, she was only on screen for like half an episode, but she was very impactful. And honestly, we don't know that much about her. We don't actually have confirmation that she was working for Salem, but we know that she has a master who was hunting the Silver Eyes, and that really sounds a lot like Salem. So, I'm glad that her, with her aesthetic and her really strong semblance, though only for 60 seconds, but still invincibility, she's a very good villain. Not to mention she was able to best the Grim Reaper. Someone like that, yeah, a force to be reckoned with. Number 12, with 26 votes, is the only character in all of RWBY to be able to rival Salem herself. He has not yet had his time to shine, but I tell you, he's lurking in the shadows. We have Perry. You remember Perry, right? Best known for wearing his glasses over his grim mask back in Volume 2. He may very well be dead because of the train heist, but you know what? I have faith in Perry. He'll come back. Probably just another misguided soul, but you never know. He has potential to be the king of all evil. At number 13, we have, with 25 votes, we have Hazel Reinhardt. I'm glad Hazel didn't make the list. He is a very impactful person when he's on screen. His fists pack quite a punch, but he doesn't really seem to be like a real villain. He's pissed at Ozpin for his sister dying, but he's kind of almost a parent figure to Mercury and Emerald, and I'm hoping that he is going to lead them on the right path, though I feel like he might end up sacrificing his life to do so, but that'll earn him a place off the naughty list at least, so I'll see what ends up happening with Hazel. Hopefully there's good things in his future and he doesn't continue down the wrong path, but we'll see how things turn out with him. Then we get into some of the characters who didn't really get that many votes. Little Miss Malachite with 10, the White Fang Lieutenant with 5, and then we have 3 who had 4 votes. Fennec, Albane, Trifa, and Yuma. It's interesting to note that Fennec got 4 votes, but Corsac, his brother, only got a single vote. But then there's some people who decided to vote for the other option. I was happy to see that a couple people voted for Carmen Esclados, a book-only villain from After the Fall. I didn't include her on the list as I didn't really know how many people read the book or knew of Carmen, etc. And I kind of wanted to focus on the series-only villains, but I'm glad that some people gave her some recognition as well. And also that some people enjoyed my theory of Zwei being the member of Salem's Inner Circle, because it honestly could happen. You know, you never know, and it is entirely possible. Zwei did get 3 votes for top villain, as well as Ruby Rose getting 1, Ozpin getting 2, and Raven Bronwyn getting 3 as well. Raven I didn't really include as a villain, because she technically was, but is pretty much a third party right now. She's not straight up trying to destroy the world. She's just kind of doing her own thing and doesn't want to get interfered with. Ozpin, I'd say the jury's kind of still out on him. You know, he doesn't seem outright evil. He wants to fight against Salem, but his methods, yeah. And Ruby, well, yeah, I can kind of see that. She did steal from the military. She's kind of doing her own thing and not really telling Ironwood the truth. We'll see how things turn out. Maybe she is the ultimate evil of the series, but who knows? Now, getting into the top 3. With 197 votes, we have the number 2 girl who was in the Best Girls poll. We have Neopolitan. Now, Neo has not said a single word on screen, but her impact has definitely been felt, at least by Yang. You know, she's a very skilled fighter, able to hold her own against Cinder, pushing Cinder to the point where she needed to use her maiden powers to end the battle there, as it would seem to be a fairly even match. Neo is someone I'm really looking forward to seeing on screen. I want to know her backstory. I'm hoping that she's going to become more of a third party rather than a villain, and I'm hoping Cinder doesn't do anything untoward to her. So, yeah, I'm really happy to see Neo up on this list. It seems any list that she's on, she gets to somewhere close to the top. Number 2 in Best Girl, number 3 in Top Villain, so you know, we'll see how it progresses throughout the series and see what other deeds she gets up to in the future. Now, you probably all have guessed who are the top 2, and they were actually competing neck and neck for the top spot. But coming in at number 2 with 202 votes, we have the Terror of Mantle, the one who is operating out of the shadows and just having a lot of fun. We have Tyrion Callows, one of the probably most straight-up villains that we have in this entire RWBY series. There's no question as to Tyrion's just a villain. There's no redemption for him. There's no saving him. He is beyond redemption. He enjoys killing, enjoys causing chaos, and enjoys the terror that he inflicts. He is the purest one on the list, technically, in that he's a villain through and through. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he continues throughout Atlas. I have a feeling he's gonna get what's coming to him, and that's probably gonna result in his death, because there's no imprisoning this man. He'll get broken out. He was broken out once already, and unfortunately his future ain't looking too bright. That coal is gonna knock him the hell out and probably take him out of this world as well. And then, coming in at number 1 with 212 votes, the partner in crime to number 3, someone who we have not seen since Volume 3. He may be dead, but his impact on the RWBY series and on the viewers themselves clearly shows. We have Roman Torchwick. I'm really glad that he is number 1. He only got number 7 or 8 in the best boy list, but here he reigns supreme, even over the insanity that is Tyrion Callows. Roman Torchwick is pretty much a straight-up villain through and through as well. He is the crime boss. That's his role in the RWBY series. Throughout volumes 1 to 3, his impact on screen was amazing, and I'm really hoping that he is alive, because there is the possibility that he could be as well. And with Roman Torchwick, I hope we see him again. He may not be a villain if we do, or at least that impactful as one, because now that we've accelerated to magic and Salem and other things, you know, a crime boss may not fit in too well, but who knows? If he awakened his semblance and that's how he survived, he could be a powerhouse coming back. I'm glad to see Roman made the top of the list. But with that being said, happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Let me know down in the comments below who you expected to get to the top of the list. Were there any surprises that you saw? Anyone that you expected to get higher or that you thought would be lower on the list? You know, let me know down in the comments below who you voted for as well. I voted for Watts and Roman, and they did end up getting to the top of the list. Roman did at least, and Watts was not as high as I thought, but I'm glad that the list turned out the way it is. There will be more polls in the future. Probably the next one will be for Valentine's Day, another best ships poll to see how things have progressed over Volume 7 and in the past year, so look forward to that. Make sure to subscribe if you want some more RWBY content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.